Hey guys, welcome to today's YouTube video, and today I'm going to be going over the first game of my tournament that I played last night. And for my first game, it was actually a really pleasant surprise. I played against a friend that I've played over the board before, and to my surprise, he's also seen my YouTube videos before, which is absolutely insane to me. But yeah, let's just go right through it. This was a really fun game, and my opponent played really well. So I just played one of my Sicilian lines, which was e5 here, which usually gets most people out of theory. If they take and take here, you have queen 2 d4, and you just fork these, and you have an instant advantage. So that didn't happen, but he did take my knight, and I take this way, just in case he takes the pawn anyways, but he plays correctly, defending the pawn here. Also d3 is fine. But now I protect my pawn and just kind of cement my bishop in this nice square for the time being, and I already have a slight advantage, but whatever. It's just kind of equal basically. And I bring my knight out to e7, which is why I put my knight on d6 instead of e7 itself, because on f6 it doesn't really have that many prospects, so I actually played this correctly. Knight e7 is the top move, the only move that keeps the biggest advantage. And we both castle here. Castles. So out of the opening, I just have a slight advantage, and I already think I misplayed this. At the time, it looked really good, but obviously after the game, then I have more insight on the position. I played f5, and the reason I think this is a mistake now is because this pawn's isolated now, and it once you take and open up the e file on this pawn, it's just isolated and kind of just a weakness for the rest of the game. It doesn't look like that big of a problem right now, but you lose all of your advantage, and you'll see that it causes me problems later on. So after e takes, I take back with my knight. This is my entire idea, because I want to put my knight on the d4 square, because I didn't really find this much of a problem at the time, which I was wrong. So yeah, after bishop to g5, I make another mistake here and play bishop back to e7, trading off one of the pieces that was defending my e5 pawn, rather than just going queen to e8, which was my plan, and queen e8 was the top move, but I don't know why I changed my mind here. My idea was queen d8 and e8 and go to g6. I don't know why I changed my mind on this. There's no reason that my queen's great on e8. I think the reason is because after queen e8, I saw knight to e4, and I was just kind of worried about this, especially with this pawn hanging now. But the computer's like unafraid just to display h6, and okay. Which I guess it makes sense because this is defended. Like, it's defended by the knight. I don't think I actually saw that it was defended by the knight for some reason. So yeah, that's my mistake. Yeah, this is just a big positional mistake that should never have been played, but alas, it did happen. So it takes, and white already has a pretty big advantage. It's already +1, and the main reason why is because of this isolated e pawn. And it gets immediately exploited with rook to e1, and you'll notice there is no way to directly defend this pawn. Like, no other piece can come help my queen defend it. But I thought I could tactically save it with knight to d4, which technically it does save the material, because first of all, if knight takes, my plan was to go here. But apparently the computer is unafraid and just says queen e2, and I have nothing. I just have nothing. My attack is garbage. Okay, I thought I had some compensation there. And obviously, if rook takes, yeah, you have to take with the pawn, and you kind of lose everything. So that's just off the table. But yeah, I thought I could save it tactically here, which apparently I actually did. Because after knight takes, it's basically equal again, which is good to know. And I thought, yeah, this is probably a good square for the knight, but I just want to attack it. If I can trade this, it'd probably be good for me, since this is probably one of white's best pieces at the moment. But he chooses to go back to g3, which is nice. I don't really see a point to move my bishop back, spend a tempo, so I decided just to overprotect the e-pawn, which seemed like a good idea at the time. And he strikes in the center with f4, which I thought was pretty strong, but Also, I wasn't really that scared since I can just go queen to f6, and like it's just a draw here. Like zeros, just zeros. So after takes, rook takes, queen takes. I think this was what happened. No, this is not what happened. After rook takes, he went queen to d2, and then I went queen to e6, which again I think is another mistake by me. Because after I take, first of all, he can just take, and also if he takes, which is what happened. Oh, not that. If he takes and goes here, like, what am I doing? Why is my queen on the e-file now? So again, just another mistake for me. I don't know why I thought queen to e6 was a good idea. It was just very short-sighted and didn't really have a good plan behind it. So yeah, after queen to d5, which I think is also another mistake, even though I don't think the computer calls it mistake, but tactically I saw that maybe later on I could get forked. My queen and my bishop could get forked by the rook, or maybe even like the knight. I don't know, like somehow gets to that square and I can't take. But I didn't see it immediately at the time. Like I didn't see how white could exploit that at the time, so I went for it anyways because I wanted to look at the g2 square just in case I could get my rook to the second rank. So white plays b3 to defend the a2 pawn, and I just simply slide my bishop back to open up my rook and kind of just control the white knight. Like if he goes here, I'm just going to take it because my bishop isn't great at all. But I think I saw this on white's turn, rook to e7. I was like, oh, I kind of just missed that. But yeah, I mean, it's just a really good principled move. And it attacks my pawn, gets rook on the 7th rank, and yeah, it's just a strong move. So I play c5 here to defend the pawn on b7. And I get hit with queen to a5, which I thought was a good move. But I don't really have to worry about it. And I thought I actually like... I thought my opponent blundered here for a second after queen to g5. I thought I was like getting in or something, but white just simply has queen to e1 here, which I saw, but I thought my queen was getting slightly more active, and I just played b6 here. If takes, what was the move? Rook to e8. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I saw this. Yeah, no, I remember seeing this now. That's why you couldn't take, because I play rook to e8. Can't go back because my queen covers that square as well, my rook now, and my rook hits the queen, and I can suddenly like start getting in with my queen and my rook and possibly having some nice attacks. The computer's a little unafraid though, it just says queen f2, it's fine. Queen c1, knight f1. Okay, I mean, it says just zeros with like -0. Okay. But that didn't happen, so we're not going to cover that. So yeah, after a4, which I guess makes sense, I just kind of like make this symmetrical pawn structure. And I can already kind of tell that this game's like going to be like a dead draw. At this point, I'm just like, oh, this is kind of depressing. So yeah, rook e5 makes sense. I mean, it kind of just attacks my queen, makes me make a decision. I play queen f4, stacking up on the f-file here. And he attacks my pawn with rook to e6, and I simply just x-ray defense it with rook to f6, and the check here gets taken, and there's no queen here mate because I just go back. So yeah, rook e7 makes sense, back on the 7th rank. Maybe you want to go here in the future, who knows. Rooks are always good on the 7th rank. So I play a6 just to maybe make space for my king. Of course this loses up my bishop, but my rook protects it, so I'm not really worried about it. And also, like, if this knight moves, I'm just going to take it, so I don't really care. So yeah, the knight moves, I take it, because I thought my bishop was pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, it's the same evaluation as everything else. Rook takes e4, I just slide back one square because I want to stay on the f-file. And then after check, up, and h3, which makes sense. Yeah, I just slide onto the g-file because now maybe I can double stack on the g-file and have some attack there. But after queen check, I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'll just slide my queen back and like maybe force you to make a trade or like double stack here. But now I just go back to f5 and yeah, if check, I just run it this way. Check, here, I'll show it on the board. I thought this was just fine for me, which it is. yeah, this was just completely fine for me as a zeros still. So that didn't happen. Yeah, what happened instead was queen to e4, and I just played queen g6, and my opponent blundered here with queen to g4 check. After takes, it's these doubled pawns that are the mistake, and I played the best move, which gives me a -3 advantage. King to g5. I still thought it was a draw here though, because rook e4. Apparently the move here is king to h4, rook to f7, and g6, which, I mean, I don't really understand king h4 that much. What's the idea? King h2, rook f2 here, g5 here, takes, rook takes. These are equal, it doesn't really matter. Rook takes c2. What? King f4? I mean, to think this is winning is absolutely insane. First of all, it's equal material. And also to me, it looks like the enemy rook is more active here. That's what it looks like to me. But yeah, we didn't go for that. So yeah, I went after rook f4, which is already a draw now. And my opponent blundered again with the rook to e6. Probably just go back because I want to defend this pawn, because I'm a little scared here, to be honest. So after rook back to e4, I played g6 because maybe I want to play like h5. I don't know. I was kind of trying to just push for a win here. And I blundered a draw with h5, and this is just a dead draw now. Yeah, there's no way out of a draw here. This is just absolute zeros in every single line. And yeah, in this position, my opponent offered a draw. We both had like 10 seconds on our clock. But I denied the draw. And this was his move after I denied. And I'm like, oh, ha, I got the e-file now. I'm getting in, right? And he just plays rook here. I take. It's still like a dead draw. But I blunder with king to g4. And this is a blunder because after king to f2, I am in Zugzwang. I have no moves. I'm just in Zugzwang. I can't make a move that's good. All my moves are bad. So yeah, after king back to g5, which I'm like, okay, this is probably the best, yeah, it is. But I mean, it's still +6. I mean, it's the best of the worst. So yeah, after here, I'm still in like Zugzwang. There's no good moves I can make. I'm just like in constant Zugzwang here. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of rush through the rest of the game since my opponent has a queen and it's over the board. I mean, this is pretty just elementary. I'm going to get checkmated, and in this position, I resigned. Oh, so yeah, I guess the moral of the story is to take draws in dead drawn positions. I thought I could be sneaky with it and get away with, flagging my opponent. We both had like 10 seconds on our clock, but my opponent does play Blitz Online as well, so we both had the speed to not flag, especially since we both had 5-second delay on our clocks. Yeah, I ended up losing this game because I was greedy. I was greedy and pushed for a win when I don't really know what I'm doing. So yeah, anyways, for our cap scores, we actually both played pretty well. My opponent had an accuracy of 89.4, which is exceptional. Kudos to my opponent and my friend. And I had a cap score of 81.1, which is respectable, but obviously not as good. And yeah, not great for me for a 30-minute game. And 30-minute game with 5-second delay. And the estimated rating was 2,400 for my opponent. Again, very respectable. Good job. And me, I had a rating of 2,150. Also respectable, but obviously not as good. I played the opening more accurately. We both played the middle game pretty accurately, around the same. And in the end game, I played pretty terribly, 74.4 accuracy, and my opponent played with 88.9. So I need to study my end games. That's pretty clear. Very, very, very clear. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't too mad about this loss. Again, there was a friend. He ended up winning the tournament with 3 out of 3 points. yeah, good game to my opponent. Very fun seeing him. It was nice to see a friend after such a long time away from the board, and he was the first person to beat me over the board in 9 months. I have not lost over the board since last September, so if you count the days or the months, it comes up to 9 months. So yeah, very nice game, very instructive for me, and yeah, thanks for watching today's recap on my tournament, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.